matters, and not only just from an installation standpoint, but from situations, and just putting them in real game situations and creating a lot of tape to teach from. And so we're growing up right before our eyes, all across the board, whether it's the veterans or the younger guys. But between Joe and Randall, Joe is really doing a good job of taking meetings to the field and showing what he can do. Now that he's confident in what he knows, he's going out and showing what he's doing. And Randall's super talented, just got to come along in terms of knowing what to do and being able to do it fast. But you expect that. Both of the guys, I don't see either one of them red shirt. I think both of them will help us this year. But just a lot to learn in this system early on, and we can get started with game planning next week, see what happens.
It seemed with Jody that that was a guy that you kind of start off maybe a little slower than Randall. Is that fair to say? Is that accurate? No. They both came out of the gates kind of similar.
They both knew nothing.
They both knew nothing.
No, there's a lot to learn. We threw a lot at the guys. Having Sam as the starting quarterback, and you know who it is, you have to coach to your best player and your most skilled player, and you can't slow him down.
Right.
And so a lot was thrown at those guys. But both of them are working hard to learn it, and both are showing signs that they're getting better and more confident in what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, with Randall being a quarterback mostly out of high school, did that give him any advantage in terms of just processing and picking things up?
It does. He gets football. It's just what we call plays. Like, he understands, what concepts are and what to do and things like that. It's just, what do we call it? And then you get signals from the sideline and it's going fast and you got coaches shouting at you. So it just takes a while for some guys to just get used to that, And so, but I would say both of them right now are still equal in terms of what they are doing on the field. Joe may be a little bit ahead in terms of what he knows and how fast he's playing.
Now, Scout.com had Jody as a 5-star. Is there any more pressure for those guys? Do you ever see it in them when they come on campus and they feel like they got to be the guy? And where Randall comes in and he was, kind of a 3-star, a little guy that was maybe a little underrated by people.
We don't say a word about stars. There's never been a conversation about.
Do you ever see it with them? Do you see it in their own, the way they pressure themselves?
I don't recruit those kind of guys that care about that.
Yeah.
We want football guys. Whether you're Deontay Burnett, who basically no one knew, and you come in and play in the Rose Bowl and have that kind of game, or Robert Woods, George Farmer, to whoever. We talk about what you do on the field and how you're going to help us win games, and that's all the conversation's about.
And I guess going forward, like you said, you don't really see either of those guys necessarily redshirting. I guess what's the biggest improvements, the things, either whether it be both of them or just individually, they got to. Do you feel confident that you can put them in the rotation?
Yeah, ultimately they're talent, and they're both tough. They're tough. They're big, physical. They're doing a good job on special teams as well. So that's a place as a young guy where you got to come in and make your name. Even going back most recently with Juju and Darius, those two guys were knowing they were going to the NFL last year and still started on the kickoff return team. And so we have to play on special teams. We're not going to take the whole receiver room on the game trips and away games especially. And you got to find a way to get on the bus. And both of them are contributing on special teams. And if they are starters on special teams, you see an opportunity for them to get in and play on the offense as well.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
You got it. No problem. All right, bud.
Part of the learning curve for these guys obviously is the playbook, but what are some of the other obstacles that Randall and Joe have?
Just knowing what to do with your time. In high school or wherever, it doesn't matter who you are, you never had to be responsible for this amount of information. And so you had maybe a study habit that lasted for a certain amount of time. And then when you get to college, and it's not only plays, but it's the run game as well. Not only route combinations, but it's adding motions and shifts. And then now I play Z, now I play X, and blah, 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 blah. So it's a lot involved that's new to them. And so you got to learn how to dissect the information. You got to know how to break it down and make what's difficult simple so that you can go out there and play fast. And I think they're learning to do that now. All of our teaching tools and things that we use to get guys ready, they're figuring it out now and starting to show signs of improvement.
Tyler, he has since the spring really kind of, for me, just looking at practice, just kind of stood out a lot of practices. And recently he's really standing out. Is that happening with you guys too? Is he kind of popping
He's playing
out?
really well. Tyler's playing confident. He knows what he's doing. He's a competitive dude. He's tough. He's just what you want at wide receiver. And so just challenging him to even take it to the next level. you know, before we get to our first game. And you know, guys are going to continue to improve during the season. We just want to see how much better we can get before that first game, and we start game plan. We're not in a game plan mode right now, so guys are really just being thrown in the fire. Clancy's throwing a lot of stuff at them, and they're just playing football. And so you get a chance to see a guy respond to failure. You get a chance to see a guy respond to being successful, and then you learn a lot about guys, because we're not in the game plan mode where we're trying to beat our defense. We're trying to go out and execute based on the rules of our offense and see how good we can be before we start game planning. And but he's doing good. He's ahead of, far ahead of where he was this time last year, ahead of where he was when we left the spring, and a guy that can definitely start for us and play a lot of ball for us.
Stephen Carr, just again, just a, kind of an observation on my part. Just he looks like as a freshman he could be as big of a threat out of the backfield as a receiver as he could as a runner.
Has outstanding hands. Outstanding hands is something that we wanted to recruit. Was a back that could be a threat out of the backfield. You know, you go back a few years ago, the role that we used with Buck Allen, and being able to get him over 40 catches in our system out of the backfield. You know, he has hands similar to Buck, and he's a great runner, physical. The thing that stuck out about Steven is how he understands, how well he understands protections. And we have a lot of them, and he's doing a really good job of protecting our quarterbacks.
All right. See, appreciate it.